Jared Kushner is apparently cashing in, and cashing in quite well. That's following his father-in-law's ouster from the White House. In fact, about 6 months following the Trump loss in the election, Kushner was approached and finalized a deal with Saudi Arabia. Oh, look at that. In fact, he reportedly received a $2 billion investment from Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. So now, this comes from the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and according to the New York Times, Kushner's firm Affinity Partners had made the deal shortly after Trump left office. The Times reported last fall that Mr. Kushner had been seeking the Saudi investment. Now, the internal fund records and correspondence obtained by the Times shows the outcome, scale, and timing of the firm's deal, as well as the debate that it aroused. Now, I'll go to the debate here that they're talking about. Now, these documents and other filings indicate that at this point, Mr. Kushner's venture now depends primarily on Saudi money. So he had shopped around. He had been like, oh, we're going to get different investors. We're going to get foreign investors. And they did. They mostly got foreign investors, with the bulk being Saudi Arabia. Interesting. Now, Salman himself, by the way, is the one that made the decision. Salman is on the fund's board of directors, and he's actually the head. And the Saudi Investment Fund Review Panel had voiced some concerns about the deal, citing Kushner's inexperience and a due diligence review that was, quote, unsatisfactory in all aspects. Now, that was the board. Mohammed bin Salman said, yeah, no, we really don't care. I don't give a shit. Let's go with it anyway. Let's give Kushner $2 billion in investment. Now, there's a letter written by fund staff to a board member who dissented, cited aims to form a strategic relationship with Affinity Partners Fund and its founder, Jared Kushner, in going ahead with the deal. Kushner, of course, had worked as a Trump White House aide and built a relationship with the Crown Prince while in office, including while working on something called the Abraham Accords that led to 4 Arab states establishing diplomatic relations with Israel. The Saudi documents obtained by the Times say that in return for its investment, the Saudi fund would receive a stake of at least 28% in Mr. Kushner's main investment vehicle. Now, that basically means that Saudi Arabia is going to have a much bigger influence on Jared Kushner when it comes to his money. Interesting. Now, look, that I think is a potential conflict of interest here. Donald Trump, of course, is planning to run for president again, at least as far as I know. And I'm wondering if that means that the Saudis are trying to buy influence. Very likely Kushner is going to be back in the White House if Donald Trump wins in 2024. Again, that's an if. So I don't know. That seems problematic. Now, what's funny is there's already a pattern of Saudi influence in the Trump White House that had happened. In fact, nobody defended the Saudis more than Jared Kushner, even when it was shown that Salman had ordered the death of a Washington Post journalist, Jamal Khashoggi. Remember, this is a guy they hacked to pieces and tried to stuff his dismembered body into a suitcase and smuggle it out. That's what happened. Alongside with that, you also had Kushner brokering a $110 billion weapons sales to Saudi Arabia over 10 years. Those weapons are currently being used in Yemen to kill innocent civilians. Hey, but the U.S. backs the Saudi coalition, backed them during the Trump administration, still backs them now under the Biden administration. So, you know, hey, that money, I guess it does buy influence. Weird. Now, Walter Schaub, director of the U.S. Office of Government Ethics during the Obama administration, tweeted this about the Kushner deal. Kushner may have influenced U.S. policy during his time in office to benefit potential future business plans. Quote, makes you wonder if Jared did something with his official authority for MBS before leaving government to earn that investment. Well, I just mentioned that he helped do the arms sales and defended Mohammed bin Salman. Trump himself had defended Mohammed bin Salman. And so there you have that. Brookings Institution fellow Norm Eisen, a former Democratic official and co-founder of the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, tweeted this. This is corruption. Angel investor Jason Calacanis posted this. They're all grifters. We probably need to ban kids, including daughters and sons-in-law of presidents, from being involved during their parents' terms. If they're qualified, let them serve under the next president and earn their slots. But then how would all these failed sons and failed daughters make any money if they can't coast to a position or money off their daddy's names? And by the way, if you're a conservative who's watching this, and I'm sure some people are, you may be furiously hate typing, what about Hunter Biden? What about Hunter Biden? Now, did Hunter Biden make money off his dad's name? You goddamn right he did. Yes. Is that a potential conflict of interest? Yeah. Now, did he shape Biden policy? No. Was he part of the administration? No. He wasn't a part of the Obama administration, where Biden was vice president, and he's not part of the Biden administration now. So, again, the possibility that maybe being the son is a little bit of an influence on foreign policy, maybe, but right now there's currently no evidence of that happening. Now, I mean, and by the way, saying, well, yeah, this is an example of corruption. Yeah, well, of course, it's corruption. And there's nepotism, especially with the Trump administration. But there's always an issue of families cashing in on, and getting special deals and special treatment by foreign investors, especially, but not always, in any administration, any family. And so, okay, again, you want to point that out. Hey, the Ukrainians, Burisma and China, well, they tried to influence Joe Biden by getting through his son and giving his son special positions. Okay, so show me anywhere where that has influenced policy in the Biden administration. Because that's important. I don't want foreign governments to have any undue influence in our administration or any administration, Democrats or Republicans or whatever. And so, yeah, I don't want that happening. I don't want there to be, be clear rules and things that ensure that they don't buy influence. But again, you look at the Trump administration, you had Kushner that was literally in the White House and had direct impact on administration policies towards Saudi Arabia. That's direct. That's nowhere near. Hunter Biden is nowhere near that. So, I mean, and that's understand what makes this way different. Again, you're going to have countries that are going to try to influence politicians by buying off their kids. Yes. That's definitely something that they should put a stop to. Absolutely. But again, in the Obama and Biden administration and now the Biden-Harris administration, there hasn't been a nepotism issue. Okay? And so there's no advisor, again, Hunter Biden is not an advisor to Joe Biden, his dad, when it comes to policy. And so trying to, deflect from this issue, which is a clear and obvious corruption, with the personal corruption of Hunter Biden, doesn't really make any sense. Now, again, Hunter Biden's been a very, very bad boy. And of course that can be addressed. But does that have anything to do, any bearing on the current administration? No, it doesn't. Again, personal corruption aside, unless you can show me exact proof of, hey, this is what policy position that was decided in the Biden administration, thanks to influence through Hunter Biden being paid off by China or Ukraine or anything like that, well, then that's a conversation that we can absolutely have. And yes, it would be corruption. And it would be hugely problematic. But so far, nothing's really materialize on that. And so, look, this, however, we do have evidence, $2 billion worth of it, that there is a direct payoff for the Saudis' investments.